I have defended Cocaine Mitch McConnell many, many times over the years. I think he's done good things. I have always given him the benefit of the doubt pretty much. This is a betrayal that is really hard to wrap one's head around. A piece just came out from CNN yesterday. Headline, McConnell says, quote, MAGA movement is completely wrong and Reagan wouldn't recognize Trump's GOP. This is a dozen days before an extraordinarily consequential presidential election, with Senate elections up, with House elections. You've got Senator Cruz on the ropes in Texas because Democrats have poured a ton of money and a lot of foreign nationals into Texas. And this is what you come out with. You're the Senate majority leader. You come out with the MAGA movement's completely wrong and Ronald Reagan wouldn't recognize it. What else did he say? I think Trump, this is according to a book written by an AP reporter that I guess has been leaked conveniently right before the election to CNN. This is what McConnell supposedly told the reporter. I think Trump was the biggest factor in changing the Republican Party from Ronald Reagan viewed, and he wouldn't recognize it today. Trump is appealing to people who haven't been as successful as other people and providing an excuse for that these more successful people have somehow been cheated, and you don't deserve to think of yourself as less successful because things haven't been fair. He said, unfortunately, about half the Republicans in the country believe whatever he says. I'm not at all conflicted about whether what the president did is an impeachable offense. I think it is. This is, of course, this goes back to when McConnell was attacking Trump during one of the two impeachment proceedings. Apparently, Mitch calls Trump a, quote, sleazeball, a narcissist, not very smart, irascible, nasty, just about every quality you would not want somebody to have. I'm not going to keep reading it. You can read the article if you want. You can read the book if you want. Here's the first thing I want. I want Mitch McConnell. This is what I'm hoping for. I hope Mitch McConnell comes out and says this isn't true. I didn't say these things. I hope it's fake news from CNN. Could be fake news from CNN or the Associated Press. They run fake news all the time. So my chief hope is in this story, McConnell comes out, he says it's just not true. If it is true, I don't know how you could possibly defend it. McConnell could say, well, I gave the interview earlier. You gave the interview earlier in an election year and you didn't think it would be trotted out right before the election? Even if you did give it earlier, you're going to throw all your guys under the bus like this? For what? On top of McConnell's terrible behavior during this election cycle. Let's not forget that Mitch McConnell's super PAC has undermined Ted Cruz in Texas. They've been withholding money. This guy's supposed to be the leader of the Senate Republicans. He's been withholding money from Ted Cruz, a race that Democrats have been pouring money into. Ted Cruz, one of the best senators we've had in my lifetime. In a really important race, you're going to allow Texas to flip blue? Why? Because Ted's too conservative for you? You don't like Trump because Trump's the head of the Republican Party now and he's made it more conservative in many ways? I don't know what to say about this. Rick Scott, he's Mitch McConnell's super PAC's been withholding money from. Rick Scott, because what? Because he's a little too conservative? This is really bad stuff. At this point, look, Mitch has done some good things. I'm grateful for the good things. He held up the vacancy for Scalia's seat, and that was really important. That was great. Thank you for it. He's got to go. He's got to go. With Republicans like this, who needs Democrats? It's a reminder of a fact that a lot of Republicans don't want to acknowledge. There are Republicans, disproportionately in party leadership, there are Republicans who want Trump to lose. There are Republicans who will feel better on November 6th if Kamala wins than if Trump wins. There are Republicans who want Ted Cruz to lose in Texas, who want Rick Scott to lose, who want some of these more contested races to go to the Democrat side rather than to the conservative Republican side. Mitch has to go. I know he's going to step down 25 years from now or something. Remember, he had his retirement announcement. He said, "I'm stepping down in about 2052 or something." It's in January. No, that's too far ahead. And then for the Republicans who are vying to replace him, I don't know exactly who's up for it. I'm not a member of the U.S. Senate. According to news reports, it's people like John Thune. It's people like John Cornyn. I think it's only Johns are running to replace Mitch. John Barrasso was in it. I think he said he's not going to run for it. So, okay, well, you've got John Thune, John Cornyn, whoever else is looking at it, maybe Rick Scott. We need clear statements from them. Mike Lee called for this just yesterday. We need clear statements. This is completely unacceptable behavior from Mitch McConnell. Mitch has to go. That's it. Mitch McConnell seems to. It pains me because I like Cocaine Mitch. Or I've supported a lot of things he's done over the years. He's probably not the most rock-ribbed conservative. He undermines conservatives sometimes, but I think he's been basically effective. This is such a profound betrayal. 12 days before an election, I just don't see how you get over that. He's going further than many Democrats are in helping Kamala. And the Democrats here. The Washington Post, left-wing establishment paper as ever there was. The Washington Post thus far has not endorsed Kamala Harris. You remember the LA Times has come out and actually said the LA Times will not endorse Kamala Harris, which is a pretty big deal. The libs are trying to spin it and say, it's just because the LA Times has new ownership. So a new person bought the LA Times in 2018. That doesn't explain it because the LA Times endorsed Joe Biden over Donald Trump in 2020. So if you're trying to argue that the LA Times is somehow a right-wing paper, which is absurd, well, how do you explain 2020? They endorsed Joe Biden over Trump. They're just not endorsing Kamala Harris. Why is the Washington Post not endorsed Kamala Harris now? Oliver Darcy at CNN, a very, very liberal journalist, Oliver Darcy is furious about this. He wrote a piece on his blog, "A Puzzle at the Post. With less than 2 weeks until ballots are cast in November, the Post has remained conspicuously silent on the highest stakes election in recent memory. Why? Why is the LA Times explicitly not endorsing Harris? Why is the Washington Post not endorsed Harris yet? Why are people holding back? Why did the Teamsters not endorse Harris? Why are so many places that typically go for Democrats not endorsing Harris?" Two explanations, not mutually exclusive. It could be both of them. The one explanation, a lot of people think that Trump is going to win. Things are looking good for Trump, and they don't want to get on the wrong side of that. But even in elections that look like they're going to go for the Republicans, very often the tried and true, dyed-in-the-wool libs will endorse the Democrat. So what's the second explanation? I think this is the more plausible explanation. Because it looks ridiculous to endorse this woman. This woman is obviously unfit to be president. She doesn't know anything. She's not popular. She's never won a single vote in a primary while running for president. Every time she speaks, her approval numbers go down. She loses votes. It's ridiculous. And it makes you look ridiculous to endorse this woman. It doesn't make you look ridiculous to endorse Biden in 2020 or even Biden in 2024. Sure, he's got dementia and everything, but he's proven himself in national politics. The guy has staying power, okay? The guy has gotten things done. I'd say for better or worse. It's mostly for worse, but at least, if you're a Democrat, Joe Biden's a serious person. Kamala Harris is not a serious person. Even from the standpoint of Democrats, it just looks ridiculous to endorse her. And so many people are not. That was a great clip. Now hold up, ring the bell, subscribe now, or else. We'll see you next time.